Okay, let's dive into this. What if a 2,000-year-old riddle, something hidden right in plain sight, promised to completely alter your reality? I know, it's a massive claim, right? But millions of people believe they have found the answer to this exact mystery, and they claim it has literally unlocked a life of total abundance for them. And, well, this brings us to Rhonda Byrne. You've more than likely heard of her incredibly popular books, The Secrets, and its follow-up, The Magic. We are talking about a true, undeniable global pop culture phenomenon here. Her works have been translated into around 50 languages and have sold over 34 million copies worldwide. She completely popularized a philosophy built entirely around the concepts of manifestation and the profound, life-altering power of gratitude. So, welcome to this explainer, The Secret, The Magic, and The Backlash, explaining the Rhonda Byrne phenomenon. Today, we're going to take a structured, really analytical journey right into the heart of this massive trend. We'll be looking at exactly what it claims, how it supposedly works, and why it has sparked such intense, ongoing debate. Here is the agenda for our explainer today. Number 1, the 2,000-year mystery. 2, the law of attraction. 3, Newton's law of gratitude. 4, Byrne's personal transformation. 5, the magic formula. And finally, number 6, the critical backlash. Section 1. The 2,000-year mystery. Unlocking a sacred text. To really understand the massive appeal of Byrne's work, we have to look at the incredibly captivating, mystery-driven language she uses to hook her readers. She sets the stage with this exact claim. For more than 20 centuries, words within a sacred text have mystified, confused, and been misunderstood by almost all who read them. You see, she brilliantly frames her philosophy not just as your standard run-of-the-mill self-help book, but as the unveiling of hidden sacred knowledge. She promises that once you finally solve this ancient riddle, a completely new world will just magically appear right before your eyes. Section 2. The law of attraction. Like attracts like. So how exactly does this new world appear? Well, it all rests on one core, foundational concept that governs Byrne's entire worldview, and that is the law of attraction. It's the universal principle stating simply that like attracts like. Byrne asserts that the energy of our thoughts and our feelings operates exactly like a powerful magnet. The theory is quite simple, really. If you complain and constantly focus on the negative, well, that energy is going to attract more problems into your life. But on the flip side, if you radiate gratitude, that positive energy magnetizes similar experiences, directly attracting wealth, health, and just pure abundance. Section 3. Newton's law of gratitude, a scientific spin. Now, Byrne doesn't just leave this in the spiritual or mystical realm. She actually attempts to back up these esoteric claims by linking them directly to fundamental scientific principles. And this brilliantly illustrates her approach. She juxtaposes Isaac Newton's incredibly famous third law of motion, every action always causes an opposite and equal reaction, directly against her own law of gratitude. She claims that the action of giving thanks always causes an opposite and equal reaction of receiving abundance. Basically, she's suggesting that her law of gratitude operates with the exact same physical certainty as gravity or motion. Section 4. Byrne's personal transformation, from debt to abundance. Naturally, if you're reading this, you want proof that it actually works, right? Well, the primary proof Byrne offers her readers is her own dramatic personal backstory. Notice the stark contrast in her timeline here. Before her big discovery, Byrne was an Australian TV producer. She was completely exhausted, she was struggling with her relationships, and she was sinking into some pretty serious mounting debt. Then comes the major turnaround. She discovers this ancient secret of gratitude and begins practicing it obsessively every single day. The result? She claims she became completely debt-free, perfectly healthy, and incredibly happy. She essentially uses her own life as the ultimate proof of concept. Section 5. The magic formula. 3 steps to manifesting. So the big question is, how do we actually put this into practice? Byrne brings these lofty, kind of esoteric concepts right down to earth with highly actionable, everyday takeaways. But applying the magic of gratitude to everyday life requires immense consistency. Byrne insists that gratitude cannot just be an occasional, polite thought when something good happens to you. No, for the magic to truly manifest abundance, it has to become a deliberate, intentional, daily practice that you weave into your morning routine, your work, and your relationships. Here's exactly how she breaks it down into a specific 3-step formula. Step 1, deliberately think and say the magic words, "Thank you." Step 2, the more you say it, the more gratitude you actually feel. And step 3, the more gratitude you feel, the more abundance you receive. Note that second step very carefully, because according to Byrne, the real secret sauce here is the intensity of the emotion. The stronger you actually feel the gratitude, the faster the magic accelerates.
Section 6. The critical backlash, theology and psychology respond.
Now, of course, an ideology this massive, making claims this bold, does not go unchecked. Let's shift gears for a second and look at the critical reception, treating the academic and theological pushback with the same objective lens. First off, historians are quick to point out that despite all the ancient 2,000-year-old framing, this philosophy actually has its roots firmly planted in the 19th century New Thought movement. Second, and probably more pointedly, critics strongly argue that the law of attraction completely ignores real-world systemic hardship, things like poverty, suffering, and illness. Critics feel it implicitly blames victims for their own unfortunate circumstances by suggesting, they just didn't manifest properly. Finally, Protestant theologian Manuel Smid goes as far as to call this ideology arrogant, self-deceiving, and merciless. He argues that it focuses entirely on selfish desires while totally ignoring objective, real-world struggles. And we also see very strong pushback from the scientific community. Just take a look at this SciPost headline. The Law of Attraction Debunked. A psychology professor explains what's wrong with Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. So the crucial point is, while Byrne confidently claims her laws are as universally reliable as gravity or Newton's laws of motion, modern academic psychology firmly rejects her theories, categorizing them as pseudoscience and magical thinking. Which really leaves us with a final provocative question to think about. Does the comforting appeal of magical thinking and those undeniable personal benefits of holding a positive mindset outweigh the complex realities of human psychology, systemic suffering, and objective science? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and maybe consider where exactly you draw the line between choosing your mindset and acknowledging the very real world around you.